So Operation Shattered Web is one of the coolest updates that I've seen from Counter-Strike in a long time. Sure, it's heavily based around cosmetic implementations within Counter-Strike, but because all of the cosmetics are locked behind a battle pass that receives new missions each week, to me, this implementation is driving the Counter-Strike team to deliver content consistently to the community, which is great. Sure, it's mostly cosmetic, but those cosmetics are no longer locked behind loot boxes most of the time. I love the operators, essentially the wearables system that the Counter-Strike team had been trying to put into the game for years. But of course, this is Valve News Network, and I want to know what could be next for the game. Looking forward, have we learned anything about future content coming to this game? Did Operation Shattered Web leak anything within this major update? And of course, the answer is yes. This video is sponsored by dmarket, the best platform to trade, buy, exchange, and sell skins instantly. Doing so is incredibly easy. You can even hunt for the skins that you want by creating targets for specific prices for specific skins directly on the dmarket website. Users can exchange skins for an instant price, or the user can use skins on top of money to get any skin that they want. Using target creation, the user can find specific items on the market for a target market price. If the skin exists for that price, the user will be told. Thank you again, dmarket, for sponsoring this video. The night the update went live, I went data mining and tried to find as much as I could, but something else happened on that day. Valve announced the first Half-Life game in over 12 years, Half-Life Alyx, and I got distracted. Max Rager of Reddit did the same data mine and found a lot of information. First of all, we have a cooperative dungeon. In the same vein of the first co-op strike mission that was seen in Operation Shattered Web, we have a second called a dungeon. There is a folder that leaked with script files related to the map Sicaro, the second Danger Zone map that launched earlier this year. In the same way that the co-op strike mission was taking place on that map, we have a second mission called a dungeon, and this is a much larger undertaking than just a linear story-based mission. This is a multi-floored dungeon with different waves of enemies that attack you based on which level of the dungeon you're on, which weapons you are holding, and which difficulty level of that dungeon you are playing. The script file specifically lists 16 different levels with 3 difficulty settings. But to sum up, this is a multi-floor cooperative dungeon that is essentially Guardian and Co-op Strike mixed. It is a survival wave-based mission where the levels of the dungeon are separated by elevators that increase in difficulty the lower in the dungeon you get. We also have evidence of 2 map remakes, Mirage and Office. It is the same way that we found out about Survival Islands, which later became Danger Zone, and DE Canals back in 2016. The map autocompile file lists all the different maps that auto-compiles when they compile the build of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And added to the file within the Shattered Web Operation update are references to Mirage and Office getting HDR remakes within the compile of this build itself, at least on the developer's side. There have been small hints towards an Office remake in the past, however, Mirage and Office getting a remake would be great. There are also Versus UI elements that have leaked, specifically the UI elements themselves. You're seeing them on the screen right now. These likely have something to do with the end of round poses that leaked a few months back that we've talked about. For more information on those poses, check out my previous video where we talked about this. The Reddit user Duke Bruno combined these assets, the end of round poses and these Versus UI elements, to show what this could look like. It's unknown if the player will be able to choose the pose that their player is in or the weapon they will be using while within that pose. However, it's very similar to what we see in Dota 2 currently, with the Versus screen that was added within the 7.0 update of Dota 2 back in 2017. And then in an update on December 16th, the same update that brought that surprise music kit, all of the missions up until week 8 leaked. Week 6 is Money Isn't Everything, week 7 is Hotshot, and week 8 is the Italian Job. Of those 3 weeks, there is no references to any more co-op strike missions. However, as I said, I have been hearing that Shattered Web will be ending with a much larger co-op strike mission. These missions are fairly standard. There's nothing really that stands out. You still have some Guardian missions each week, taking place in Vertigo, Cache, and Italy, but generally, that is all that we have found recently with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. We will likely be seeing more leaks occur as the Counter-Strike team is essentially forcing themselves to ship week to week. However, seeing as we already have leaks related to a major co-op strike mission that's survival and wave-based, map remakes, and an entire UI redesign specifically with Versus elements, those major updates will likely bring leaks of their own. Large updates bring more leaks than smaller updates, and it seems as if we're going to be getting some large updates in the year of 2020. I'm looking forward to it. 2019 was the best year for Counter-Strike content I have ever seen, and thank you very much for watching. If you want to know what I'm doing at any given time in relation to the work that I produce or just the news on the topics that I care about, I recommend that you follow my Twitter. I'd really appreciate it if you could, at Valve News Network, no K. On that Twitter, my DMs are always open, and you can ask me any questions that you have. I try and answer as many of them as I can. If you don't have a Twitter, my email is tylernewsnetwork@gmail.com. If you want to support these videos, my Patreon is down in the description below, and patrons get to see videos early and get their name in the credits. But if you're not a big fan of Patreon, my PayPal donation email is tylermcvicker@yahoo.com for a one-time donation if you want to support this channel. I am Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Really appreciate it if you could. Have a good day. Adios.